he went to a competitor. And does it happen? Many times a customer comes to you, whatever service you are in, like let's say for example, you are even in the field of say financial advising. What happens is you talk to a person about a particular plan, that this is the best plan for you. He is convinced about it, that plan may be an insurance policy or maybe some other mutual fund. He is convinced about buying that, but instead of buying it from the person who gave advice, he moves to another person because he trusts him. He may not trust more for the competence. He probably knows that this person is, as a friend, is very good, and competence I have collected it from somebody else. This person endorses, he's very good at that, so his knowledge is outstanding. He has endorsed the product is good, so he goes to another person and says that buy it on my behalf. Now that's because of the trust. So many times people end up saying the product, they sell a product, but they fail to sell a brand, and that's primarily because lack of relationship. The moment you have a relationship, I was doing one project at Kolkata about a year back, and they're a large buyer of a particular commodity. I'm saying commodity because the brand did not matter much. Okay, most of the brands were at parity. Parity means qualitatively they were same, price-wise they were same, everything was virtually same. And the person was large buyers, one among the large buyers. Now, I asked him why you are still sticking to one particular customer, one particular supplier. And the answer that he gave me is that not working with this person is like amputing one of my limbs. So I am working with him because it delivers value to me, not to him. And what was it? It was only a delivery schedule that he was maintaining. Price was same, quality of the product was same, but over a period of time he developed relationship, and along with relationship ensured that when customer needed the product, he delivered it. And since the product was voluminous, the delivery schedule mattered most to him. So the moment you identify it, what here, this is what Duryodhan tells about the army that he has. He is telling it to Dronacharya, who was the commander-in-chief. Let's go by that term right now. So to him, he says that this. What he's really talking, we'll just try and see that. These are the people. So he says that this is what is there on their side. But at the same time, let's look at what I have. So he says, Bhavan Bhishmacha, means you yourself are there, plus Bhishma, plus Karna, plus Krupacharya, all are unconquered warriors by them, Ashwathama, Vikarna, Somadatta, all of them. This is what he says. Okay. Now, let's skip the few things and come to the next one. This is what Arjun tells to Sri Krishna. What he says is, Acharyaha, Pitaraha, Putrastaivacha, Pitamaha, Matulaha, Shashuraha, Pautraha, Shalyaha, Sambandhidasya. He's not naming a single warrior. He's naming all relationships. Look at the difference the two people look at it. One person looks at it as an individual. Another person looks at it as the relationship. The difference is, once you know what relationship you have with your customer, customizing your customer relationship management becomes easier. But if you have a person as identified individual, tailoring it becomes slightly difficult. And today with digitization, the problem is that unless you know what is relationship, you will keep on developing newer and newer strategies for every customer, which will be time consuming, and what we eventually want that the bottom line should be better. I always say that there are three things which any entrepreneur should look at. One is the top line, that is your net sales, it's vanity. So you are always proud that I'm working for a $25 billion company or something like that, so it's a vanity. But sanity is how profitable you are. So what is your bottom line? So if top line talks to you about the vanity, the pride, the bottom line is the sanity, how sensible you are with respect to your profitability. So having addressed to vanity and sanity, the most important issue is cash flow, which is reality. Now, unless you are getting cash, it's very, very difficult to survive. Maybe you are a very sensible organization looking at profitability, but cash is not coming. Again, the problem comes. And these are the issues which day to day you have to handle while doing business. So how are you going to address to these? If you have relationship with your customers defined, you have a set of operating systems going on to address to each of them. Now he doesn't have to tell separately how to address to Drone and how to address separately to Krupacharya. Both of them come under as Acharya. Am I making myself clear? Well, it should, because what we are looking at it is that are you segmenting your customer relationships as well? Because today, as rightly pointed out by Mahendra sir, that it is becoming increasingly difficult to have loyal customers. But today the objective of customer relationship is not just loyal customer. Loyalty is one thing. Beyond that, are you aiming for advocacy? Will your customer recommend you to somebody else that you should buy from him? So today the objective of CRM is not just having loyal customer. That's the basic thing, almost like a hygiene, washing hands before having food. So once having done that, if your customer is loyal, you have to take it further relationship to advocacy. The customer should not only be loyal and keep buying from you, but also recommend others to buy from you. And what bottom line I'm saying is CRM is not about data. What we have seen earlier is you give one single number to an operator and he has everything about you known, your medical reports, etc., etc. CRM is not about data. Let's understand that, because many times what we do is that I have this much of data available with me and let me take this data and use it. No, that's not going to help the CRM. It's about customer relationship and planning management. You're planning your relationship, what kind of relationship you are going to have with the customer, and planning for the relationship. It's not accidental. Many times it does happen that you may develop relationship with somebody accidentally because you have some certain things which you like. There are commonalities with that, but that's not the objective. The objective is that you are doing it more by design than by accident, and that's where you are planning for developing the relationship that you are looking forward to. It's a process, not commodity. The moment it is a data, it becomes a commodity. But you cannot remove people from the equation. You know, it's as simple as that. When I ask people that whom do you buy from a friend or from a stranger, most will say that we will buy from a friend. And if you ask them that if your friend charges slightly higher premium than your friend, you'll think for a minute and still buy it from your friend. The reason is the trust, the dependency that you have developed over a period of time, and which is mutually beneficial. It's not one-sided, it's mutually beneficial. And that's why I said that you cannot remove people from the equation here. It's not just a commodity that you have a set of data and you can go ahead with CRM. It's about customer engagement for mutual development. Important thing is customers should be engaged. If they are not engaged, it's very, very difficult to ensure success. I'll just give you one simple example. I mean, what customer engagement is to a certain extent. We have been watching Kaun Banega Crorepati. There is going to be a new one also, and another season, etc., etc. All said and done, what we see is the persona of Mr. Bachchan. It has a huge impact on it. But challenge common sense. Think about yourself. Do we like our neighbor becoming a millionaire? We don't like neighbor becoming millionaire. We don't like our relatives becoming millionaire unless they have in their will that everything should go to the person after me. Unless that, even we don't appreciate relatives becoming a millionaire. But why we are watching a stranger becoming a millionaire? We are really not watching a stranger becoming a millionaire. We are judging for ourselves that had I been in the hot seat, how much I would have won. But there is a limit. Limit in the sense that you keep on wondering about it, when I will reach at the hot seat. And that's the customer engagement. Now you realize that it's very, very difficult to be among a few of them. And then the company has to engage you more. So every seat is a hot seat. So you can SMS answer, etc., etc., go for a jackpot, all those things which are coming up. That's how they're trying to keep you engaged with the program. Otherwise, even the TRP ratings start dropping. The moment you realize that I'm not engaged in a particular program. So that's what I'm saying, that the customer engagement is very, very important in CRM. And that has to be for the mutual benefit. You have to very cautiously plan your CRM activities as to how to develop relationships to grow business. Number one, we will come to these very shortly. How to handle questions, because most of the times it is handling questions which is more important than handling compliments. You have to handle compliments also very well. So how are you going to handle compliments, and how are you going to handle complaints as well, and what should be the frequency of follow-up? Remember, if we are not keeping a right frequency with the customer, we'll tend to lose customers very quickly. And that is the reason that we have to ensure that we are keeping a right follow-up with the customers as well, and how to deal with order processing. Even if you have an order, you have to deal with the order processing. As I said, that the delivery schedule matter in certain cases. So how are you maintaining that order processing, and how do we grow the business? That's the bottom line. The entire business should grow, not only yours, but also the other people as well. Now, this is a very interesting statement that Henry Ford has made. And this is what holds true everywhere. What he had said, it actually was a complaint that every time he wanted to hire another pair of hands, he had to take a human being. I very easily told you that do not remove people from the equation. But it is the people who matter most. Because every time when human beings come into the picture, whether it is a customer, whether it's supplier or anybody, what we see first is they have their own passion. So even your supplier has some specific passion to go by. They're also determined to achieve certain objectives. Your customers are also, so you are a customer for your supplier, your customers also have a passion for something, so they have their own passion to begin with. There are peculiarities, and that's the reason that people have different responses to different stimuli. One person doesn't, everybody doesn't respond same way to the single stimuli, and that's the reason that there are peculiarities and there are prejudices. Now, when you are managing people, these together create most vexing problems. What happens is, when you are not deleting people from the CRM activity, you are addressing to their passion, you are addressing to their peculiarities, you are addressing to their prejudices, and this is what is creating the vexing problems for every organization. Now, how do we exactly address to these is very simple, which I will skip because most entrepreneurs, so they are aware about the 4 P's that McCarthy gave long time back. Okay, even today. Let me say that even today, management per se is a profession that's very, very young. The developments in the management are very young. There's a continuous development that's happening in the field of management. CRM is the process, it's a part of that development. So right now also, though we are still going by the 4 P's, we have added 7 P's to that, some of them have added 15 P's to it. Nevertheless, still we are sticking to that product, price, place, and promotion. And remember, it's the promotion which is very, very critical today, because the products are at parity. Most of the products in a particular price bracket function in the same way. Simply looking at this projection, you cannot tell that which brand of LCD is being used. It's very, very difficult. Fine. So most of the brands in a given price bracket, the different price brackets will have different quality, but most of the brands in a given price bracket are at parity. So there is a functional benefit which is almost same. So you have to address to that emotional benefit. The moment you address functional benefit at par with the other person, what tilts the purchase decision in your favor is your ability to address to the emotional appeal of your product. And that's where the CRM comes into the picture. The better you manage that, the better are the chances of getting the order of your brand. This is how really the customer relationship management works. The first is, it's the integration of sales, marketing, service, and support strategy, where you have to go for the process, people, and technology to maximize first acquire a customer. The most important thing is, unless you acquire a customer and value, you cannot have relationships. The first thing is acquisition. Second is value your customer. How much you value your customer, they reciprocate that. Interestingly, morning I was talking to one of the faculties here in the later stages, and I said that in relationship, there is no mathematical equation. I don't know how much I love my son and how much he reciprocates. By and large, there are mathematical equations for everything. Okay, you name things and there are mathematical equations for that. But there's no mathematical equation for relationship. How much I love my son and how much he reciprocates that. And that's why you have to value it. Then you have developed relationship. Retentions, very important, as Mahendra sir also pointed out in the morning, that it's very, very important to have retention and loyalty. But as I said, loyal customers is not end. You have to go beyond that and look at advocacy. Are your customers going to advocate you as a potential supplier for others? Loyal customers will buy for themselves. Maybe they are satisfied, maybe to a certain extent they are delighted, but they are not advocating you as a potential supplier for some other thing. And the moment you achieve that particular thing, your relationship starts giving you the dividends. And that's what I'm looking at, that at the CRM, the process should end at loyalty and the relationship should take you to advocacy. If that happens, you can be rest assured that you have achieved your objective. So the process, I'll just briefly come through that. I would not like to run out of, make inroads into the time of the others. One is you have to redesign from outside in perspective. You cannot inside out. All the time you have to look at the outside in approach for this. You do have a customer data and database at the center of organization, but be customer centric. Fine, you have data, everybody gets data. It's not, getting data is not very, very difficult offline. You have a customer data available with you, but how you use data will determine it. So everybody has information, but what that information means, unless you make out of it, it is very difficult. That information remains information. It doesn't become knowledge, or it doesn't give you wisdom. So this data has to analyze in order to be customer centric. You have to have an organization-wide customer view. You cannot have one-sided view. So if people, that's what earlier I said, that it is integration of selling, marketing and other backup activities. It's primarily because it's not only the salesman's job to acquire customer. It's not only the marketing job to acquire customer. Sometimes the other backup support system also comes into the picture in acquisition. And that's why the organization-wide customer view is very, very important.